Back the other way, Javonte Smart.
He got a foul. They called a foul here. 80 feet from the goal. Oh, Rick Barnes got to be so upset. I think it was a good call. I think it was a good call.
What I thought the indication from the official was, Javonte Smart said, make it. And he did.
Hello and welcome to the Tigers Roar here at Scoreboards on Pelican Sports TV. No, it's not the Pelican Sports post-game show, but you do have the Budman, Buddy Sanji, and myself, Tommy Chrysan, spreading the roar on Tigers Roar here in late February. They didn't play football today, but we're going to have some fun tonight for you and lots to talk about. Buddy, good evening. How are you?
Good to see you, TK. I miss doing TV with you. You know, I think the last time we were on the air was that ill-fated Texas A&M shafting that LSU got with all the controversy. And here it is. They get a couple of breaks with the Blue Bloods from Kentucky and Tennessee, and it's wah, wah, wah. Oh, by the way, did you hear Will Wade not in the top 15 coaches on that gig this afternoon? What a joke. They are kicking butt, taking names, and it's great to be a Tiger fan, great to be a Jag fan, and great to be with you tonight.
Well, LSU basketball, the top story of the college basketball season, sitting on top of the SEC with 3 games left on the regular season slate. They haven't lost a road conference game yet. But, buddy, we're going to get right to it. The elephant in the room, the subpoena, or the word Monday earlier this week, that he has been going to be subpoenaed to appear on April 22nd in the FBI trial of the basketball corruption thing. Season will be long over by then, even if LSU were to go all the way. And you can't get away from it. And if he's getting a subpoena, they have a reason for giving him a subpoena. Now, until all the facts are known, I don't think anybody should pass judgment. But it is a cloud that's going to hang over LSU.
Well, we knew this was coming down. The irony of the whole thing was that it comes down right after they beat Kentucky and Tennessee in 2 very close games. Kentucky folks feel like that game should have been an overtime. Of course, the Tennessee game was an overtime. LSU, by the way, has won more overtime games than anybody in the country. They're 4-2 in overtime this year. But Kristen Dawkins is the guy who they are trying to pin. Now, he's the one that taped the conversation with Will Wade, talked to Jacques Doucet on the radio show today, and he said, look, Will Wade was a little, unnerved. Now, he got the information about 10 to 1. He had the press conference at 1 o'clock. TK, you know how this stuff is. After you lose a tough game as a coach or a player, it's tough for somebody to put a microphone in your face because you've not gathered your thoughts. You have all kinds of emotions going through. What do they have on me? What am I clear of? But I think this is more so going after Dawkins, and there's already been a couple coaches that are fired. But the question is, what does he have that implicates him? And is it going to amount to something, or is it going to go away and be a non-story? And I just don't think Will Wade is not sharp enough not to implicate himself. I think that when all the smoke clears, this is not going to be as bad as it seems right now.
Well, I hope not. And here's the thing, buddy, when he got all them guys in, this is the unfortunate part of this story. When all Nas Reed and Cavell Bigby Williams and Tremont Waters, when he got him all in, the question came up. I hope he did it right. I hope he didn't do anything wrong. Buddy, I was speaking at an association dinner a couple of months ago, and topic of, I brought up LSU basketball. I said, hey, I think they're going to be really good this year. First question from the audience was, did he cheat to get all them players? I'm like, well, unless we get facts on that, you have to assume that he did not. That's unfortunate, because, it happened to Ole Miss in football. They went and got all them recruits one year, and everybody said they had to do something wrong. Well, they ended up in the deep freeze, pun intended there. So I'm going to give Will Wade the benefit of the doubt that he didn't do anything major wrong. Now, did he maybe have a phone call that ain't hunky-dory? That would be a minor deal. But it's unfortunate. And what tells me what's not a good sign is in the coaches poll they didn't rise. Because these coaches talk. And I'm just going to say it. If all these coaches think he did something wrong, they're not going to give him votes. And that could be why he's not in the top 15 for Coach of the Year, because the perception could be that he did something wrong. And I'm not pointing the finger at him because I don't know. And until we learn facts, no one knows. But it's unfortunate that that comes along with the story.
You know anybody that drives 80 on the interstate?
Lots of people.
You know anybody that cheats on their wife?
Yeah, I know people.
You know anybody that cheats on their taxes?
Yes.
You know how dirty the AAU is with
Yes.
basketball? It's all dirty. If you remember.
But they can get who they want to get.
Well, but LSU, and listen, if they get Will Wade on something, then he won't be accountable for that. But John Calipari has put 2 programs on dire straits with Memphis and UMass. Roy Williams took the testimony and had all kinds of free reins to bring in Lester Earl. Coach
Bruce Pearl
K,
lied at NCAA.
Bruce Pearl, I mean, Kansas, everybody.
So, no, I don't think it's going to cost him his job. I really don't. But it's just not good to have that kind of stuff going around.
Listen, if you don't think that these ball players and their families don't get money to go to these universities, you're being a little naive. And trust me, I'm not going to talk about any particulars, but I have seen a $500 handshake before in a local restaurant to a basketball player. I'm not telling you if it's Kentucky or LSU or somebody, but my point is, TK, you know how this stuff works. The question is this, look, remember the first accusation is that they had Sean Miller, the Arizona coach, on tape saying he'd give a kid $100,000. That is going to come through this test, and whether or not that sticks or not, we're going to find out. And Will Wade, if we remember the snippets, he was saying something to the neighborhood of, I can get that if I need to, but you don't know if that's a car at a good deal or a new apartment or some other things that you get that comes with the scholarship.
Or a gift card to school boards.
Yeah, hey, listen, you might get that, and you'd love it with the snow crab and the barbecue and all that. But what I'm saying is, trust me when I tell you, Kentucky and Calipari and all these other blue blood coaches have far more of a reputation. I'll tell you what I think this is. I think this is some supreme jealousy by those big-time coaches.
By the Blue Bloods.
The Blue Bloods, who are worried that Will Wade is wakening up a sleeping giant in hoops, just like Nick Saban did 19 years ago in LSU football.
Well, buddy, you mentioned it's a good time to be a Tiger sports fan. We're with gymnastics and softball, beach volleyball, ranked 4th in the nation. Coach Maneri's team 7-0, way ahead of Southern early tonight out at Alec Box, trying to dodge some raindrops, I guess. But it is a good time to be a Tiger fan. Spring football practice, 2020 recruiting class is going well, and we will have Mike Scarborough at TigerBait.com a little bit later in the program. So,
by the way, you see who joined us for tonight's show?
What you got on your shirt there, buddy?
Well, that Roger Goodell wanted to come on this show.
You borrowed that from Drew Brees?
Well, no,
Sean Payton?
I actually got that as a present to me from my BFF's daughter, Miss Amy, and I want to thank her for that. I haven't worn it yet, but I just thought that I hated.
Buddy, that shirt ain't gonna fit you.
TK.
Well, I know it's not gonna fit me, but you said you hadn't worn it yet. I didn't say I was gonna wear it.
Let's not talk about bodies or looks on this show tonight, because we are 2 radio guys that are doing TV.
That's
and
true.
You know, people don't tune in to you and me for the aesthetic viewing, okay? But hey,
anyway,
listen,
Sean
I'll tell
Payton
you
gave you
this.
the shirt.
I'll tell you this. Once we get some good weather and get a little color, I'll start working out a little bit more, play golf, and get ready. You know, we're always heavy after football because you have so much food and parties and
It's all that
Thanksgiving.
Manda sausage.
Yeah, all that sausage, and you love the hoghead cheese. But it's a great time to be a Tiger fan. It is sad, though, that this has been a little wrench in the ointment with the Tiger basketball fan enjoying some of these monumental victories, but more so than anything, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center coming back and being the Deaf Dome, even if it's only been for 1 or 2 nights so far. I think they'll have a great finale against Vanderbilt next Saturday. But it's great to see that, and it shows Wade and the program a little bit of what is potentially there. And I really do a lot of parallel to his first 2 years, changing the culture and how this town thinks about LSU hoops, to what Nick Saban did in his first couple of years, and we know how that ended up.
Yeah, and we'll see if this can keep going. All right, we're at Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Let's tell you all about Scoreboards. They're open Tuesday through Sunday at 11 a.m. You got happy hour Tuesday through Friday from 4 to 7. They've got daily lunch specials here for you. Express lunch that gets you in and out of here in a hurry. Oh, the whole menu's available, but they can get you in and out of here with the chicken fettuccine on a Tuesday, red beans and rice with sausage on a Wednesday, hamburger steak, which is really good on Thursday, and why not crawfish etouffee on Friday, boiled snow crabs, boiled shrimp, boiled crawfish, all market price when available. Connect with Scoreboards on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They're constantly posting about special events and DJs, and of course you got 5 television shows that occur. 3 on a Tuesday, the Roger Kadar Show hosted by Clarence Buggs, Sports Update with Kate, Good Rockin' Tonight with Mike Shepard. He had Chris LeBlanc, local outstanding musician, was in the house last night playing a few tunes, and it was Mike's guest on that show. Overtime with Roman Banks. Now they filmed it at noon today because of the Southern LSU baseball game. Next Wednesday they'll be back to 6:30 where all you Jaguar fans can come out and see all of that. A closer look at Jaguar athletics. They've been doing a great job with that show. They're getting coaches out here, student athletes, members of the athletic staff. They take questions from the audience, the whole bit. And of course, Tigers Roar on Wednesday night where you're always invited. Scoreboards is family friendly. Kids are invited. There's a kids menu, kids section on the menu for everybody to come have fun and enjoy all the things at Scoreboards. Well, buddy, last time we were on the air was after LSU lost to A&M in football. Now we're on the air after they beat A&M in basketball. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Will Wade, his comments after the win over the Texas A&M Aggies, coached by New Orleans native Billy Kennedy, Holy Cross Southeastern, a good friend of mine. So we'll get that when we return. Scoreboards, Coursey Boulevard between Airline and Sherwood. He's Buddy Saji. I'm Tommy Christ, and we're spreading the roar. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. Stay with us.
Going golfing. Oh! Off to golf.
You're picking that up.
Off to the range, honey.
Bye.
Whoa! Oh, that was close. Glad you got the backup camera installed.
Yep.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Look up to the skies as
We continue with Tigers Rule. Once again, we're at scoreboards. Left this out earlier, but Thursday night is steak night. You got the hamburger steak for lunch, steak night Thursday, boiled crawfish Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got DJs on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come on out, have some fun, connect on social media. LSU had some fun against Texas A&M, buddy. They didn't play their best basketball game, didn't shoot it real well, but one stat that I think needs to be pointed out, no team in the country has made more free throws than LSU has. Free throws made. You know, you get to that free throw line, you hear it from the time you're 8 years old on up, got to make your free throws. That could be part of the reason why LSU is being successful.
Well, and this is so nice. In fact, the game they lost to Florida, they shot 16 to 25. It's their worst time. But for the most part, they've been about a 78 or 79% free throw shooting team. Look, Javonte Smart, the last two games proved they can win without Trey Waters. Naz Reid didn't play well against Tennessee, but came back and played much better. I'll tell you this, TK, Cavell Bigby-Williams to me is the big surprise and the difference that I had no idea he would be that big a factor. He's a shot blocker, he's a rim protector, he finishes a lot of trash up around the goal, and he's had 8 double-doubles. Who would have thought that before the season?
Buddy, what's up with Tremont Waters?
Tremont
If
Waters,
he's ill, why is he sitting on the bench Tuesday night?
The deal that I heard and that I believe, and there have been a lot of stories on that, is that it was a concussion. And what they didn't want that out. They played it close to the vest. I think it was still a little foggy. I forget what game it was. He ran into one of the big guy's knees.
Well, that makes more sense than illness.
Yeah, and so he wasn't.
Concussion is a concussion an illness? I don't think.
Well, I mean that's the way they go.
It's a medical thing, but I don't know if it's an illness.
Well, that's the way they covered it up. But
Okay,
that's
they
what
covered it up,
what I believe. Of course, there was a lot of smoke and fire, but I think they expect him to play Saturday.
All right, but anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, Will Wade was happy after the win over A&M. Tigers were double-digit favorites. They were supposed to win the game. They were at home. Some thought there could be a letdown after the big win against Tennessee, who was really close with Ole Miss tonight, and we'll see what happened in that game. But we want you to hear from Coach Will Wade, his comments after the game, the win against the Aggies of Texas A&M.
Good win. I thought we set the tone early with our defense. Very, very proud of how our guys came out. We came out of the gate really guarding. Did a great job there. We had good balance. And, we won the game like I like to win the game. 40 points in the paint, 18 from the free throw line, 58 of our 66 from the paint and the free throw line. Only turned the ball over 9 times. It's 2 straight games we've had under 10 turnovers, which has been tremendous. I thought we had a season high for deflections this game. We were all over the place with our hands. Our hand activity was great. So overall, just a good win. The second half was a little bit jittery, but at that point, it was going to be hard for them to come back without Stark. So we were just trying to get out of there with the win and move on. Our guys, it's our 3rd game in 6 days. It's been a rough 6 days. We have some guys who are banged up and nicked up. Nothing serious. We just need to survive this and get a day of rest tomorrow, and then prepare for Alabama. So it's good to have Trey back on the bench before I get 100 questions about that. It's good to have him back on the bench. He's doing much better. It was just kind of our call to sit him for tonight. He's probably not quite 100%, but he's very, very close, and I suspect he'll practice with us for a few days and be ready to go against Alabama. He probably could have maybe played a little bit tonight, but he hadn't practiced. He hadn't been real active, and so we didn't feel like that was fair to him or fair to our team. And he went quite 100%. We want to make sure he's ready to go, and I think he will be Saturday at Alabama.
Will, obviously a huge win on Saturday, and a lot of times we like to talk about possible letdowns. There wasn't a letdown at all in the first half. So many dunks, so much energy. What do you think the key to that, all that energy was that your guys came out with?
Our guys prepared well. We guarded well. We took good shots. We didn't give them opportunities to get out in transition and really get them going. And so I thought our guys just, we had a mature way about us. I think we tried to, you try to learn from your mistakes throughout the year. I think we learned and got better from some of the situations we had earlier in the year where we didn't respond as well after bigger victories.
Coach, back here, how important were those 40 points in the paint, especially when you have a night 2 of 19 from beyond the arc? Obviously, you guys got the win, but looking at that 2 of 19 from beyond the arc, does that concern you at all?
No, we'll be fine. Not worried about that.
Yeah, just curious, how unusual is it in your experience to shoot about 35% and have 0 bench points and win by double digits and lead by as much as 20?
Oh, we did. You go look at our teams at VCU. We did that a lot. This is how we played. My last year at VCU, we had to play like this. We had more bench points. We had some more depth, but we just kind of grinded you like this. But scored a bunch in the paint, scored a bunch at the free throw line, and we didn't shoot it particularly well from three. We had one guy, I think, that shot over 35% from three on our team, and so this is just kind of what we did. So, I've been a part of plenty of games like this.
It was a personal benchmark night for Skylar tonight. He had 1,000
points. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I know you've made your feelings on him felt in the past, but just
what
does something like that mean?
He's been awesome, and just another record for him. Apropos, he made it on a free throw, right? Is that correct? Technical free throw. So, best free throw shooter makes it on a free throw. So, no, but very, very happy for him. Just shows his consistency and how hard he works, and. It's a great, I think there's, 41? 41 in the program's history, so he'll be moving on up. We've got plenty more points to score.
I know you probably weren't concerned, but how nice was it to see Naz Reid come out and have,
It's great. That was part of the game plan. We wanted to get him involved early, get him in there. We knew we had a mismatch. They played the small four with Flag, so we knew we had a mismatch. We wanted to get the ball into him, and he did a great job. He almost had a double-double in the first half, I think. Is that correct? 10 and 8, yeah. So he was awesome. I knew he was going to bounce back.
Skylar was asked about it, but he mentioned playing for an SEC championship. I know they're not dumb. They know what's going on. They know what's at stake. But how do you balance just the conversations with, it's got to be one game at a time, but you're playing for something?
Yeah, we just talk about, focusing on the moment, focusing on what we're doing. Like tomorrow, we got to have a great day of recovery. We got to get better. We got to get healthy. Then we got to have good practice Thursday, good practice Friday, give ourselves a chance to win on Saturday. So we just try to take it day by day, hour by hour, and do, we talk more about the championship traits and what goes into it than we do winning it. But our guys certainly know what's at stake, and they know we've got 3 games left, and we control it. So
Cavell with another double-double.
7 in SEC play, 6?
6 or 7.
6 in SEC play, I think.
Just
almost half our games.
And just seemed like he was around the rim a lot early on. How much of an emphasis was the front court being that aggressive early on?
Huge. We wanted to get the ball in the paint, get the ball on the backboard, and we did exactly what we needed to do. I wish we hadn't given up so many offensive rebounds. That's been a problem the last couple of games. We're going to have to get that corrected before Saturday. We're going to be in real trouble in Tuscaloosa. So we need to get that corrected in terms of cleaning up the defensive glass. But I thought our activity was great, 10 steals. Cavell had some big blocks. I thought Emmett had a huge block that really changed the momentum of the game for us there.
Excuse me. Could you share what are some of those championship traits that you try to emphasize to your team?
Well, just, one of them is just do simple better. We don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything crazy to win championships. You just have to, you just have to do the simple things really well. One thing that's, my confidence in Marshall's a lot higher now. You never know how he's going to react in a game. He was like a robot out there now. He did exactly what you were supposed to do defensively. I know he didn't make his shots tonight. He's going to make those. but he was phenomenal. But he does all the simple things extremely, extremely well. We need to win the game within the game. Our baseline out-of-bounds defense was much better. We gave up 5 points to them at their place, baseline out-of-bounds defense. We turned that tonight. You know, that's been a huge emphasis for us. As bad as we played against Florida, our baseline defense, we gave up 9 points in baseline defense. We'd have won the game if that hadn't happened. And so, you know, you've got to win kind of the game within the game with the free throws, with the baseline and sideline out, winning that game, and then just making really, really simple plays. I mean, this is good basketball. If you can out-rebound your opponent, you turn the ball over less than 10 times, you at least get a shot on the backboard. It's pretty good basketball, and it keeps your transition defense down. And so, you know, in tournament basketball, it gets into possession-by-possession games. You just got to value each possession more.
Well, how important was Sky when you first got here?
Hat on tonight.
Yeah, it's my day off.
Oh. How are you here?
Boot up, baby.
Boy, you're a trooper. It's your birthday?
It is, yes.
Happy birthday. I'm
Thank
not going to
you.
ask how old, but happy birthday.
44. It's the year, 44. How important was it to get Sky, to win him over, to get him as your example to push everyone else?
Oh, well, he wasn't very hard to win over. I mean, he won us over. I mean, he was. Never forget when I got the job, I had meetings with him in the conference room over there, like the second day. The first day, I kind of saw everybody and talked to the team. Second day, I started setting up individual meetings. And he asked an individual meeting if I could work him out that afternoon. It was like me and Coach Hernandez were the only two here, my ops guy. I'm like, yeah, I'll work you out. And so from then on that, I kind of knew he was our type guy. And you know, you don't really have to win them over if they're your type people and you're their type person. And you know, it was really pretty simple. I mean, you guys know how I feel about him. I don't have to go through all that. But very, very happy for him to get the 1,000 points.
After a couple of solid bench outings, I mean, Darius's minutes were a little bit lower tonight. Was there a game plan? Is that just a flow of the game?
He got in some foul trouble in the first half. He picked up those 2 fouls in the first half, and then his heel's been bothering him, and so, you know, he had to go change shoes and do some stuff with that. So it's one of those deals.
Coach, earlier on in the year, you made it a point at one of your luncheons. You said you would want to score 80 points a game. That was like a number. Considering the games you've played and a little bit later in the season now, how much more comfortable do you feel about your team grinding out wins now?
Yeah, you know, we didn't have our leading scorer. So, I mean, you know, you got to win. You got to be able to win different ways. And I like the fact that we're able to win different ways and find different ways to win. And I think that's a good thing to have as you move forward.
Just Nas missing the open dunk, and I think at the other end, just him dealing with frustration with himself. Is that something that you try to talk to him in game?
I think he's done a great job of that. He's been able to reverse. You know, he's had some bad first halves and some really good second halves. He's been able to self-correct in the game. Just the hardest thing to do is to really kind of positive self-talk and self-correct in the game. And so he's been phenomenal. He's got such a mature approach about him and such a mature way that he goes about things, and that allows him to be successful.
We continue with Tigers Roar, buddy. Sanjay Tommy Christ here with you. It was a nice win over A&M. Now they got to go to Bama Saturday. Avery Johnson's team, always athletic, plays hard. Of course, he's from New Orleans, St. Augustine High School. The court out at the F.G. Clark Activity Center at Southern University is named after him. They got a big win on the road against South Carolina Tuesday night, so they're going to be back at home ready to go. It's going to be a tough challenge, and then it's another one of these LSU-Bama things.
By the way, I know you have a good friendship with Billy Kennedy, right?
Sure.
I think he took not one but 2 Benadryl before that game the other night.
Well, no, he's ill, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. I know he's ill, but
he's got Parkinson's disease.
Well, I know, but TK, he wasn't doing anything.
He can't. Okay.
Well, so you think this is it? This is last year?
Maybe. I'm not saying that, but he's under doctor's orders. You're not going to see him jumping up and down.
Well, I mean, you know, I did not know he had the Parkinson's disease, but I'm sitting there and he was talking but very little mannerisms, and of course, Will Wade was so happy because number one, they played the first 10 minutes. They played the best defense they played all year. They had the big lineup with Smart in, and obviously everybody's waiting to see if Trey Waters comes back on Saturday. But I'm still just shocked on this Naismith thing that Will Wade's not in the top 15. And you think that a lot of coaches are trying to not blackball him, but let's just say not give him his credit. And it's interesting that Kentucky and Tennessee both didn't want to give LSU props after those close wins.
They did. Billy Kennedy gave them props, talked about how intense their defense was in the game. But no, look, those coaches won't ever say it, and they'll never come out and say it at a press conference or talk to anybody on the record about it. But and it could be just envy, jealousy that Will Wade has went out and got these players, and he's got LSU at a spot nobody thought they'd be at here as we close out February and roll into March. But I'm going to stick to what I said. You have to go by the fact he's done nothing wrong unless you get proof or evidence that he did.
Well, I apologize.
Because everybody tries to get after the guy who's on top. Saban, he's the #1 recruit. Say, yeah, he's got to be cheating. Well, they've never proved that he was. But, buddy, you made the point earlier. Everybody does it all over the place. I'll go back to the early 80s when I got laundry money to pitch at Southeastern. They'd give us $20 on a Friday to do the laundry. Well, we went right to the Brown Door and drank beer because the managers in the clubhouse did our laundry, okay?
I was with you that weekend. You got 50. You got 50 and nobody reported.
But no, buddy, back then 20 would take care of the whole weekend. Okay. Now 20 wouldn't get but a round of drinks, maybe. But no, so I mean, it happens, okay? And it is what it is. Many a student athlete at all schools across this country, not just Louisiana, not just Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, things happen. And as Buddy said, if you think it doesn't happen, you're being a little naive.
Well, I want to apologize to Billy because I did not know he had a disease that severe. I just thought that he may have had a head cold, or he very, very, laid back and not saying too much, and it all makes sense now. And I said he probably, Texas A&M, they're trying to buy their championships, and they did it with Jimbo. So obviously they'll have a new basketball coach.
Well, no, I'm not trying to imply that he's not going to be there.
Well, but let's be honest. A&M it would be.
Well, they're not having a great year, but they lost several guys in the NBA, and we'll just, if you're interested, and Billy's got a lot of friends in New Orleans, a lot of friends over in Hammond.
Really good guy.
Tangipahoa and Parish area. No, I've known him since high school, not all my life, but since high school. And hey, he's been at the studios of the Pelican to do a show years back, signed a green and gold Southeastern basketball for us, which is still in the case over there. And he's a really good guy and a very good basketball coach.
Well, they don't make the tournament, TK, unless they win the SEC tournament.
No, they probably won't be a tournament team.
LSU with the double bye now, with the win last night, so they're not going to play until Friday for those that will travel. Hey, do you think there'll be 100 or so there supporting them this year? Because
You mean in Nashville?
Yeah,
There'll be more than 100.
It's not been a long trip to the SEC tournament for basketball guys. Now, Maneri wins baseball tournament in Hoover all the time, but basketball has not done a lot.
Well, they've won it since Holtberg and them did.
And the great thing about it, TK, is that Selection Sunday is going to be a lot of anticipation on where LSU is seated, where they go, and all that
they're
other
no
stuff.
less than 4 right now. If they win the regular season title outright, which they have a legitimate shot to do, I don't see how you can have them less than 3 if they win that regular season conference title. You'll go back to the old body of work cliche, okay? And you win the regular, what were they picked, 7th or 8th?
I think they picked 6th or 7th in the league this year.
And then if they win it and they don't lose on the road, now they do have 2 road games left at Bama, at Florida, and a home contest against Vanderbilt to wrap it up. But anyway, we'll see.
And I know Will Wade doesn't care about all of that, but now he's not on the Naismith list. And
that may motivate him.
It's hard. I know it's great motivation for him and the team, but I'm saying, are they going to give Calipari or Barnes or Kermit Davis the SEC Coach of the Year before Will Wade gets it?
If they win the league,
they got to give it to him.
They got to give it to Will Wade. And if they don't, it adds a little weight to what I said, that these coaches are jealous, envious, or they think he's doing something wrong, or they know he did something wrong. That would be how 2 and 2 makes 4 in that equation.
11 a.m. Saturday, not a good history at Coleman Coliseum. Their
That
record
was tough.
is-
Avery Johnson's teams play hard.
But LSU never plays well over there. 11 o'clock in the morning, obviously quick start, and stay out of foul trouble, make free throws. I heard Coach Wade on the way over here with the radio show said that they're giving up too many offensive rebounds, so he wants to curtail that. TK, 7 turnovers against Tennessee, and that includes the OT. 9 turnovers last night, 16 the last 2 games, 8 turnovers against good ball clubs. You know, and
that's a recipe for winning.
That's what's helping him a lot. And Javonte Smart, man, I tell you, he's like a.
We know why he was. You see the no water's no problem. There you go. Good job by Jonathan on the graphic there.
Yeah.
66-55 over A&M. Couple of road games coming up. Bama and Florida. 23-5 overall. 13-2 in the league. That's numbers that not many people, or hardly anybody, thought we'd see as the end of February rolling into March, and of course March Madness. Now, buddy, I know you have Mike Scarborough on the radio on a weekly basis. LSU's looking good, 2020 football recruiting. Coach Orgeron and the staff, they're getting out there. They're reaching nationwide. He said Coach O told his staff, go get me the best football players. Did you know they recruited Zion Williamson as a tight end? They didn't make an offer, but he was on their list as a tight end. So, because he said, we want to go get the best players. So, I know Mike's been filling you in, and when we go take a break, when we come back, Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. He'll join us, talk about that 2020 class, 2021, Coach Ed Orgeron, the football staff. We got all of that after this pause. You are watching Tigers Roar, Spread the Roar, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. We're at Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard, open Tuesday through Saturday at 11 a.m. Steak night tomorrow night. Thursday night, steak night with all the trimmings. Come get it. We'll be back after this pause.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service. 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
We continue with Tigers Roar here from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan. Right now, as we like to do, we're joined by Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Tell you all about how you can get connected with TigerBait.com just a little bit. Mike, good evening. How are you?
Hey, good, glad to be with you guys.
Hey, basketball is a hot topic now. Let's talk about recruiting basketball style. Will Wade and his staff. You got some info for us.
Yeah, look, obviously they signed two guys in the early signing period, and, of course, we'll see how this season plays out. But, when you look at who they're expected to lose and what's left on the board for the April 15th signing period, it's really just three guys. It's Lester Quiones from IMG Academy, the shooting guard. Trendon Wofford, of course, at Mountain Brook High School. Memphis, LSU battle with Duke with a recent offer. I think Alabama, I talked to a guy yesterday that follows Alabama basketball recruiting. He thinks that Alabama is on the outside looking in. So I think it's been LSU. I know there's people worried about the Duke offer coming in for him, but that kid is an absolute stud. So, and then Kadeem Sy, who was originally signed with Virginia Tech out of high school, out of Mount Wilson, Georgia, went to Virginia Tech, ended up leaving Virginia Tech, going back, changing his mind a few weeks later, and then leaving again. He's at Daytona College, and he's a power forward. And he's a big guy. What is he, like 6'8", 280? I mean, he's got some size.
Mike, what's the word out there? Will Wade as a recruiter. Obviously, he's had good results since arriving at LSU. What's the talk out there in the recruiting world about Will Wade, the recruiter, when it comes to basketball?
Well, no, he's tireless. I mean, when he first got there, some of the guys that he brought in, and it's like, well, man, where did he locate some of these guys? His initial team goes to all the summer camps, uses the football program in the football home games, which every LSU basketball coach has done that. But I just think him and his staff, like he said in his first few press conferences when he got the job, that if you're going to play in the same league as Kentucky, you have to recruit the same type of players as they do. And he hasn't backed down with any of the nation's top players. So certainly this class with those guys, look, if Trendon Wofford's in that group and Quiones, that brings LSU's recruiting class for this year way up to the charts.
You got a guy red shirt.
But then we got to see what ends up leaving and what the attrition is going to be.
Yeah, I was just going to add, Mike, you got Cortez Cooper, who is a 6'8" guy, but has the wingspan of a 7-footer. He has been redshirting this year, and they really like him to come in. Most people think Nas, TK, Nas Tremont, obviously Cavell Bigby Williams, who's senior, are not going to be with him next year.
Well, and look, people have thought I was crazy, when I say if you have a couple of years in a row consistent like this one, that LSU basketball will rightfully take its second place in LSU athletics, overtaking baseball. And I think what you saw Saturday is proof of that.
Yeah, good point. We're visiting with Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. Mike, everybody wants to know about LSU football recruiting. Word is that the 2020 class is really taking great shape, looking good, even jumping into 2021. Orgeron and his staff doing a heck of a job. Give us the latest recruiting on the recruiting front with LSU Tiger football.
There's no doubt. I think that their entire staff is doing extremely well. I mentioned it to Buddy earlier today. What they're doing in the state of Alabama, because Alabama's recruiting nationally, and Auburn seems to be asleep at the wheel. I've got a story up on the website right now, a linebacker from Saraland, Alabama, that's leaning to LSU. Tommy Robinson, Corey Raymond, Dave Aranda goes there. I'm told that if they drive through Alabama on their way anywhere else, that they stop in to at least a few high schools on the way in the Mobile area. So 2020 class is just really looking good. I mean, you had a 5-star defensive end from Columbia, South Carolina yesterday for an unofficial visit, a kid that was expected to be at Clemson. But those are the type of kids that you wouldn't see come in for unofficial visits in past years. So you're going to have another junior day on March 16th. I think that one's going to be jam-packed with more high-profile kids. You got arguably the #1 overall class in the country. You're seeing some of the rankings come out on the networks, and LSU's current list of commitments is represented very well. So, but it's going to be all about getting a half a dozen defensive linemen and a good 5 or 6 offensive linemen, preferably 4 or 5 of those guys being of the tackle variety. You already got your 2 quarterbacks, need a running back, need a tight end, and then, of course, your usual group of linebackers and defensive backs.
Mike, interesting with the commitment of Elias Ricks, who we feel like is going to be the next Greedy Williams. He's 6'2", 180, but long like Greedy, and probably will play opposite of Derek Stingley his freshman year when Stingley's a sophomore. Does that bring a few more California prospects? I know they're going to visit, but do you think LSU could bring in another commitment or 2 out there because of what they've done with Ricks? And I know Bill Bush has done a great job as well establishing relationships out there.
Yeah, look, you got the Navarrete kid from Norco, California, who's already been on campus. He's expected to come back. He's one of the top linebackers in the country, 6'3", 235. It's easier said than done, but I do think Ricks is one of those types of kids who's very active on Twitter. He's got a lot of other prospects in that class that look up to him. And, all it takes is a kid like that to make people think that Louisiana and LSU is a possibility. I mean, heck, what's the difference? If you got to get on a plane to go to Oregon, and Oregon's recruited California very well, if you're going to an airport and you're getting on a plane, what's the difference?
Hey,
I would think you want to play in the SEC, and in this case, LSU.
Cardell Thomas, Mike, was a big guy on social media and really the lead recruiter in the last class that came in. Who's the Cardell Thomas as far as the guy that everybody wants to talk to, follow? He tweets everybody, and they form this bond like they did with this last class that came in.
Man, that's a good question. I certainly think Ricks falls in that category. I think Jaquelin Roy could be that way. TJ Finley has a little bit of that going on. I think those are probably your guys right there. Keishon Butte's real quiet. Darren Turner and Chris Drain don't say much, if anything. So I think it's Ricks, Jaquelin Roy, and TJ Finley of 3 of the 11 right now that are probably your most vocal guys that be out there recruiting on Twitter and being the guys that other recruits gravitate to when they're all together on campus at the same time.
Mike, next week, Thursday the 7th, LSU spring football practice starts. Well, they spread that out, as we know, over about a 5-6 week period. What can Tiger football fans look for to perhaps come out of spring practice in the big picture?
Well, I mean, look, it's, you know, what is going to be the, can Chris Curry make a move at running back and stake a claim that, hey, yeah, you've got Tyrion Davis and John Emery coming in, but I'm not going anywhere, and I'm a fight for a spot. You know, obviously every spring you want everybody to stay healthy. You know, are we any closer to getting a word on Ed Ingram? Joe Burrow continue to progress. Miles Brennan continue to progress because he's about to have Peter Parrish come in the summer, and then you got 2 quarterbacks for 20. But you know, watching the linebackers without Devin White, what's going to be the storyline there? Calebon Chason off of injury. You know, Rashard Lawrence just had the surgery, so you know, all eyes obviously first practice is going to be looking to see Derek Stingley.
Right.
And TK, I know you're going to be looking at D lineman. You got Lawrence that's out, obviously, and now that we know Neil Farrell had injuries and surgery after the A&M game. So, Mike, what's the skinny? What'd you hear on Davin Cotton? He probably would have gotten a lot of reps in spring ball, and maybe he had a chance to be in the 2 deep. I think he put his name into the transfer portal. He took it back out. He put it back in. We know Dominic Livingston is going back because of family concerns. And we know, TK and Mike, that you have to have natural attrition of 7 or 8 to make the 85. But have you been able to get any scoop on Cotton? And who else on the D-line will we see this spring?
I just kind of think when you see that, guys are seeing the pecking order. They're seeing the likelihood of getting on the field. You know, it's not like a Breeden Fiocco thing where a guy's leaving Texas Tech and he's a player and heads to LSU. That's a rare case. It's usually a guy who's seeing what's in front of him, what's coming in that might be in front of him. You know. The thing about that, though, is, you know, why not go through spring football? You still have to finish out the semester.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you need to put your name in that hopper now? Why not go through spring football then do it? What's the difference? You still have to finish out the semester. It's not like you withdraw from school and get, you know,
right,
a bunch of incompletes on all your coursework. Then you're really in trouble.
TK and I have invited Miles Brennan, and we said, Miles, if you hang with us for a couple of weeks, you can pick up 10 pounds.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy, it's going to be interesting, and I remember some people think Miles Brennan is going to have a bright future, and other people think, well, first of all, he's got to get bigger, stronger, and obviously contain and hold on to some of that weight. Got a cannon for an arm. I'm excited to see Joe Burrow. He knows the landscape of the SEC. I think Joe is a guy that's going to be really good. But, Mike, here's the other question. What do you think Coach O is going to let Joe Brady do to be a part of this offense, seeing that he's a run-pass offense guy, run-pass option guy coming over from the Saints? Does Peter Parrish have a look at that to possibly play, and does LSU really do what they've been saying to all of us for the last 3 years? Spread them out, more 4 wides, more run-pass option inside the red zone, and be like Clemson, Alabama, and all of these offenses that really are more modern than what LSU's been running.
And look, how much of what we saw of that in the offense last year had they already gotten from Joe Brady, and that's how they met him in the first place.
Well, you know, Joe Burrow has shown he's not afraid to run the football, certainly, and he's big enough where he can take a hit or two. You know, obviously you don't want to get him hurt. I think Joe Brady comes in, and I think it's a noticeable difference in the LSU offense, especially you got the experience of Joe Burrow. Look, they ran him like crazy against A&M all through the 7 overtimes, and he took a few licks, and he kept on ticking. Remind me a lot of Bobby Abad. When he played for the Saints, he'd get racked up and get right back up and call another play. Joe Burrow's tough like that. So, and I think the coaches have learned that about him, so they'll be more inclined to do an RPO.
But you're still in a situation that you are last season, where you still don't know right now that you have a bona fide number 2 quarterback that you feel comfortable with, you're still in that same exact situation as you were last year, where you're worried to death that Joe Burrow might get hurt.
Well, unless Miles Brennan, through spring practice, can show him that he's closer to being ready.
Right.
And through the fall camp.
What's his weight?
And his
been
fall
something
camp.
funny I've noticed in some of the interviews I've done. I've had 3 kids, recruits from out of town, at LSU's recruiting, that mentioned Tony's Seafood, about how they love the Louisiana food. So I don't know if Miles Brennan needs to head over there and start loading up, or what his weight's gotten up to. But
he needs to hang around.
Bigger and stronger by then.
Hang around Sanji and I for a couple of weeks. He'll gain some weight. I'm pretty sure.
Well, look, the Brennan name has been in the food business. It's not the food. The problem is the metabolism and holding on to it. Now, by the way, Tommy Moffitt told both you and I in interviews, to you and me, that Miles Brennan is a really hard worker in the weight room and is very strong. He just can't put the weight on. Brandon Harris went through this. I'm hoping, Mike, this being the 3rd year, and I really liked the redshirt rule last year, where Miles could play a lot in 4 games and still redshirt. I think that's a great rule, and I think that will be beneficial to him especially. But I agree with Mike. I mean, Coach Ensminger got a little heavy-handed, and Coach O said in the press conferences, we'd run him more if I listened to Ensminger, because Steve loved running him, and he was a good runner. He had to learn how to slide. He's as tough as nails. But I'm with TK.
Yeah, but you guys remember last season, I'd be there for player interviews, and he shows up in short T-shirts and in a short, and I look up from my video camera, and I'm noticing all the bruises up and down his body. And finally someone said, man, he goes, oh, I just bruised easy. But, man, he was taking some shots last season.
Well, he's the leader of that football team, in my opinion, on offense. And I'm not sure if it'll be Rashard Lawrence or who on defense, Fehoko. But look, you're missing Devin White, you're missing Greedy, and you're missing Cole Tracy. But, guys, it's going to be a preseason 6 or 7 for LSU. And that means big expectations. And, TK, one of these days, God willing, LSU's got to beat him, and he's got to keep us healthy enough. But one of these days, we're going to have Scarborough on after LSU beats Alabama, and let's hope it's before Nick Saban retires.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, well, I already told you I can't decide whether to go 10-2 or 11-1 right now.
Well,
I mean, you would really have to have several catastrophic injuries in spring and fall practice for me to back off of that. And of course, I keep saying it, but that Texas game really is a pivotal game.
Yeah. Game number 2 in Austin. They open up at home against Georgia Southern. Mike, tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com. There's so much info there, and why people need to subscribe tonight and tomorrow.
That's it, TigerBait.com. Look, spring football starts next week, and we're going to be really ramping up our photo galleries, our video practices reports. Of course, all the footage from out there. So baseball, basketball coverage, loads of recruiting stuff on the website. I tell you, in the last 3 days, I've gotten probably about a dozen interviews that I need to get typed up. So I'm going to have all that up on the site here before the weekend. So TigerBait.com, $1 gets you 30 days. And if you're an LSU fan, I think you can't beat it. And you'll love the site once you get on there and play around with all the things we've got to offer.
All right, Mike, as
Thank you,
always,
Mike.
we appreciate your time, and everybody get to TigerBait.com.
By the way, thank you, Mike. We'll talk with you soon. Hey, I'm just watching the highlights over here. We're multitasking on a Wednesday night. Man, I'm excited to be with you tonight.
Kermit Davis, that's what you were watching.
Kermit Davis was
Threw his
throwing the jacket. What happened there?
There was no call at the end of the game. This guy took a 3. They were down 2. Should have been a foul on Tennessee based on what I just saw. So check your highlights out tomorrow. I'm sure even later tonight it'll be everywhere.
Kentucky got the benefit of an instant.
I need an update from you on LSU baseball.
Well, let's go to break. We'll come back and up with
No, I need an update now.
I don't have it. It was 12-0.
It's 12-0, then we got an update.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to be more than that.
Bottom of the 5th inning, 12-0. Tigers trying to remain unbeaten. Big road trip against the Longhorns of Texas, who came into Lafayette, played Tony Robichaux's crew on the opening weekend, took 2 out of 3, but one of them was an extra inning game. Texas very good, ranked up there, and it's going to be a big, big challenge for Paul Mainieri's LSU Tigers. Probably You know, the Tuesday night game with South Alabama was rained out. You saved that 9 innings being a starter, a bullpen guy. Obviously, you're getting a lot of guys work against the Jaguars tonight. They should have all arms for the weekend.
16-0 tonight. Right.
16-0 now.
16-0 now, and that's the top of the 6th inning. Eric Walker, by the way, 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, really looked good. 25 pitches, 18 for strikes. I think this is what the doctor ordered. I think he definitely is going to be a factor. By the way, on the Longhorn Network, nobody watches that freaking network, but they will get some viewers this weekend.
Viewers. We're going to take a break, come back. We've got some Pulmonary after one of the wins over the weekend against Bryant University, who was from Smithfield, Rhode Island, of all places. We'll come back, a little LSU baseball for you. Buddy Saji, Tommy Chrysan from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard. Scoreboards connect on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thursday night, steak night. DJs Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boiled snow crabs, boiled shrimp, boiled crawfish. The daily lunch specials available on Waiter. Got a Waiter delivery guy walked in just now. You can use Waiter to get the food delivered to you. The Scoreboards or Sports Grill and Catering on Coursey Boulevard, available on the Waiter app on your smartphone. Get the great food delivered straight to you. We're back with some LSU baseball after this pause. Stay with us.
Taste the feeling.
Oh, great party.
Oh, thanks for coming, guys.
Better get that car warmed up.
I'm on it.
I don't miss those days.
Yeah, we just had a remote start installed.
Oh, us too. Nice.
It's gonna be nice and toasty.
Why don't we have one of those?
We're fine.
Okay, I can't feel my fingers.
I bet everyone else can.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
We continue with Tigers Roar, Buddy Sergeant Tommy Chrysan with you from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard. LSU baseball, big lead on the Southern Jaguars tonight. Want to go back this weekend, hear from Coach Palmineri talking about his team after a win against Bryant, the Bulldogs from Rhode Island.
Really, really terrific game for about 6 innings against a really good team. Let me tell you something. That team is really outstanding. That's a great lineup. Their starting pitcher is really good. He was up to 96 miles an hour with a repertoire of pitches. He didn't strike a single batter out of ours for the 5+ innings that he, or was it 4+ innings that he pitched? How many innings was it, James?
4+.
4+, I think. Okay. And Eric, Hess, battled, and I thought Hess did a really good job. The first inning, he relied on his fastball, and after that, he started throwing his slider and his changeup, and I thought he did a really good job. Except, his pitch count got up there and we had to hook him after 5 innings. Eric Walker gave us a beautiful 6th inning, and then he just kind of lost his command. He gave him a couple free passes to a wild pitch, and then, let him get a little bit to get back into the game. Thought Aaron George initially did a really good job, then he started, losing his command. And then Matthew Beck struggled with his command tonight. But Fontenot came in and got a big out with the bases loaded against their very best hitter. He made some clutch pitches there. And then Vittmeyer did a really good job for us. We got a little sloppy in the 9th inning with missing a pop-up and then a routine play. But for the most part, 90% of the time, I thought we played a really, really good all-around game. I thought our hitters were so much better tonight than they were earlier this week against Southeastern. I challenged them yesterday at practice, and I think they responded to it, and I was really proud of our team. And then, when they got close and we're going to, make it a little, scary there in the 9th inning, Cabrera, in the bottom of the 8th inning, Gio, Duplantis, and Cabrera rose up, and we were able to put the game away. And then we were able to use Vittmeyer instead of Peterson, which saves him for tomorrow. So, there were a lot of good things tonight. I hate for the little bit of sloppiness to take away from a really good win, because we had a good win against a really good ball club. They can really hit. Their pitching, I think, is really solid. Where they helped us was with their infield defense a little bit, but they're a northern team, and that's usually the one area for northern teams that they struggle, because they don't get to get outside and take ground balls. But to our credit, we took advantage of the errors that they made, and we're able to have some good at-bats after that.
Well, what into the decision to put Gio in the lineup, put Cade back in the lineup?
Well, first of all, we're facing a right-hander today, and I know we're going to face 2 lefties, so I thought this was a good chance. But both of those guys have done really good things when they've had their opportunities. And I thought tonight both of them really sparked our team. I thought Gio played a tremendous ball game, and his speed puts a lot of pressure on the other team. And then Cade Beloso had 3 really good at-bats. And unfortunately, he didn't play great defense there in the 9th inning. And so he's got to learn from that and play a more complete game for 9 innings. But I thought both of them were big spark plugs for us today.
But both of them got on base, I think, like 4 times tonight each. I mean, how kind of disciplined are they as freshmen?
Well, Beloso has a very disciplined approach at the plate. Gio's a little bit more of a free swinger. You'd think it'd be the other way around. But Gio, on one pitch can, look bad, and then the next pitch, rocket one. He's an electric player. I mean, you got to be patient with Gio, because he's still kind of learning the game. But he's got a lot of ability. And, if it wasn't for us having such a tremendous 3-man outfield already, he'd be a starting player as a freshman. But I told him before the season, I told you guys, I'm going to get him into the games a lot. And you can see why. He makes things happen when he's in the game.
You think the off-speed pitches were the difference for Hess?
Absolutely, yeah. After the first inning, I was wondering what was going on. He threw 23 pitches, 22 of them were fastballs. And then he went, more to the off-speed pitches after that, and he pretty much dominated the game after that. I think he was really terrific, and really proud of Zach. I expected him to answer the bell and come out and be much better than last week.
How do you see first base shaking up the rest of the weekend?
I'm not sure yet. I'll have to think about it. Okay. We are facing 2 left-handed starting pitchers, so just not sure yet.
You had 7 walks tonight, 5
Yeah.
bullpen. How much does that concern you?
That concerns me a lot. You just can't do that, especially when you got a big lead. You got a 10-1 lead. Come on, let's throw the ball over the plate, make them earn. I don't care how good the other team is hitting the ball. To be able to come back and score 9 runs just hitting without you helping them is a pretty big task. But when you walk 7 batters, it just makes it easier for them. And Eric is still knocking off the rust. And his first inning was great, 7 pitches. His second inning, he just lost his command there. And then, Aaron George, he made some big pitches, but he lost his command a little bit as well. And then Matthew really never had his command, unfortunately, and I had to hook him. But Fontenot, if nothing else, is going to throw the ball over the plate usually. And I put him in a really, really tough situation with 2 balls on the batter and the bases loaded, and yet he answered the bell and got us out of it. And then Vittmeyer came in and threw a lot of strikes and finished it off for us.
How did Skip do on the PA tonight?
I really thought that was Skip initially. That Rance is amazing. I did. The first inning, I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe Skip's doing that.
They did, actually, he got on the mic.
But
later.
Rance was pointing to
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Rance was pointing at the wrong name.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell when it was Rance and when it was Skip. Initially, I thought it was Skip. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen Skip do this before. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard in the dugout. And then somebody said, that's not Skip, that's Ronnie Rance. I said, oh, jeez. I'm glad to see people having fun.
Bill's okay? His surgery went okay?
I just exchanged some text messages with Michael Burnett before the game, and he told me, that everything went well and he was in recovery. So I haven't, I've been out here for the last few hours, so I haven't checked recently. But, a lot of people are praying for him. A lot of great email messages from response to Michael Burnett's email, and that was wonderful to see. It really was heartwarming to see all those emails people were sending.
Coach, on the rest of the weekend, what do you learn from it? You said it was a good win. What do you get from a game like this?
Well, I think what it did show us is just how good Bryant really is. I mean, they've got a really good team, and we're going to have to come out tomorrow with the score 0-0 and play a really good game again behind Landon Marceau, and our bullpen going to have to tighten things up a little bit. I didn't expect to have to use as many guys as we did. We're a little bit thin because Costello's out and Hilliard's out. So, the guys that we believe in, it's a limited group, and so I was hoping I wouldn't have to use Fontenot. I was hoping I wouldn't have to get Peterson up. I was even hoping I wouldn't have to use Beck, but it got really hairy there, and we're going to have to see what we got available. So it's going to be 2 more tough games against these guys. I'm telling you, they got some tough kids and very talented hitters.
So LSU baseball again, in control against Carrick Jackson Southern Jaguars tonight. He's doing a really good job second year out there. It's an improved ball club, and we'll see what they can do in the SWAC. LSU going to remain unbeaten unless we'll have a story if they don't. But if they blow a 16-run lead, Alan Dunn won't come on the radio with you no more.
No,
but anyway, big win this weekend against the Texas Longhorns, the toughest test to date with all respect to the previous opponents. Going to learn a lot about them as they continue to get ready for SEC play.
You said they took 2 or 3 from the Raging Cajuns, and Tony Robichaux's not having a typical year. They were 1-6 to start the season, so it's interesting, TK. You got a mix of experience with the 3 guys coming back, Zach Watson, Zach Hess, and Antoine Duplantis. You got these new bucks. By the way, I watched Cade Beloso. I don't think he's going to give up that first base gig anymore.
Well,
I think
now Gavin Dugas hurt, so he's out for a couple of months.
Well, but Cade Beloso is now you got to have Bianco just in case you want to go righty against lefty.
Well, you need all the guys. I mean, you need everybody to go through the 56 games and then the postseason, and LSU postseason is always a factor. So, I think Coach Maneri, I know this is an early call, 7, almost 8 games in the books. He'd like to see more consistency out of the pitching. That's probably, and this is just my speculation, just watching the games, reading the box scores. He wants more consistency out of the pitching, and I think that will come in time.
And they have not thrown out a runner on the bases yet.
Well, they don't have an arm behind the plate.
Well, I know, and Coach Maneri's been blaming the pitchers and the job they do.
You know what else they don't have, buddy?
Huh.
They don't have a left-handed pitcher.
They don't have a left-handed pitcher.
See if I get loose, or should I get loose, or what?
Easton McMurray was the only guy, and he had the season-ending.
I think my eligibility's up, buddy.
Well,
and they don't have a uniform to
I
fit
have
me
talked
either.
to them. They have not had a lot of lefties the last few years, and it doesn't seem like it's bothered them. But
Buddy,
they
also,
will learn a lot this weekend at Texas.
Gymnastics continues to be one of the premier programs in the country. Pack the crowds. Dee Bro, 400 years as the coach, continues to do a great job.
Sarah Finnegan is one of the best.
She's one of the greatest ever, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, she really, really is so eloquent, and everything is she's a dynamite gymnast, and she's their lead lady this year. Lexi Priestman has been hurt a little bit. They're trying to get her back. Of course, Mary Lou Retton's daughter has been hurt, but she's coming back, and they've been having a bunch of injuries. TK, they've been in the low 197s and doing well, but this year, instead of the Super 6, you only have 4 at the end.
And the SEC championships are in New Orleans.
That's right.
So all you folks in New Orleans, you'll be able to see this LSU gymnastics team up close and personal. Hey, let's get some Dee Bro going for you. We've been putting gymnastics on for many years because they're so good. All of those programs out there work hard. Here's Dee Bro, the legendary coach of LSU Gymnastics.
Florida's a good team, and we're a good team. So we're excited about the win. Anytime you're an SEC opponent, it's obvious that it's going to be a great competition. And our meet at Arkansas was certainly an indicator of how solid this team is. Third meet in 8 days, the kids were a little bit tired, but they pushed through it and really gave us the kind of performance that we need, the consistency that we need to move forward through the rest of the season.
I guess what's the benefit of peaking later in the season? I mean, we've probably seen some teams in the past, they hit their stride really, really early.
Well, our teams in the past 3 or 4 years have hit their stride very, very early, made a great impression early, maintained that, and got a little bit better as we got into the postseason. This team, we knew we were going to have this kind of early season, and we feel like they've really established themselves, able to capitalize on momentum, which is critically important, and created some consistency that they've been able to maintain. So, with that said, we did that at Arkansas, and with some adversity, because there were some inconsistencies in the judging. It's a very tight floor, and the crowd's really close to you. So, there were a lot of things that we felt like our kids overcame and did a great job. And, now to come home and be able to prepare for a really good Georgia team, we're excited.
Speaking of the inconsistencies in judging, did you see the email that I guess somebody sent out to all the judges? And
no, I didn't see it.
I guess they talked about judging based on name and not performance
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. Just how does that?
Who sent that out? I haven't seen it.
I think it was the NCAA.
Oh, really? No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. And I don't know what's it good. It's not going to change what the judges are doing, I don't think. I just think there's a world of difference between a 9.80 and a 9.95. I mean, there's a world of difference between those kinds of performances, and I just think that the judges should be a little bit better prepared to give great scores to great performances. And if somebody has a mistake, that's not a 10-0. It's not a 10-0 routine. But if somebody has a flawless routine, they could go 9.95 or 10. So, they just have to be able to discern the difference in those quality of performances.
Has this just been the year of officiating in Louisiana sports, and it's coming up more than ever?
It's coming up more than ever, and they talk about the subjectivity in gymnastics, but there's subjectivity in sport. And I mean, look what happened, our football and our football team, and that was egregious. And then you look at some of these basketball plays that they're dragging these games on and on and on because they're going back and reviewing every every play. You know, I don't know what's better. You know, I would rather have a tight competition, where it flows and it moves, but this stop and start thing is really painful. At least in gymnastics, it flows and it moves fast. We may be dealing with little mistakes here and there with the judges, but I think the best team wins in the end for us right now.
How much mental toughness goes into a sport with so much subjectivity?
I think you have to be mentally tough to be able to put it aside, and the main message is control the things you can control. And, you know, if your athletes are out there doing their best and giving you 100%, and there's a flaw here or there, move on. You know, move on. It's not world hunger. Move on. Go forward with it. And I think our team is doing a good job at doing that, is removing the clutter and focusing on those things that they can control. But they really have, our gymnastics team has really done a great job these last 4 competitions, I think, of defining who they are, how they want to compete, and where they want to go.
How many seniors do you have?
3.
3?
4? I'm sorry, I have 4 seniors. Sarah Finnegan, Lexi Priestman, Juliana Canamella, and McKenna. You know, it's hard to think of McKenna as a senior because she didn't compete last year. So, you know, I tend to say 3. McKenna's, you know, got that extra year if she wants to take it. So we're, yeah. But a great senior class.
All weekend for her academics at Alec Mox
Uh-huh.
Stadium and everything. They're going to be honored before this?
They'll be honored, our senior night's our Oregon State meet. So they'll be honored on what date is that? March the 8th. Is it March the 8th? March the 8th will be our senior night when we'll honor those kids. So we have 4, but, you know, McKenna is be a senior, and it's her senior year.
Is this one of the best senior classes you can, you know, think in recent memory?
Well, just to look at what they've accomplished, their body of work, and, you know, the people that they have been able to beat on a consistent level, and the level of the quality of performance that they have been able to maintain, and, you know, Sarah Finnegan leading that charge, it's been amazing.
What can you even say any more about Sarah that you haven't already said for her to be as consistent as she has been?
Well, let me tell you this: I'm happy that we have seniors. I'm happy and I'm proud that this sport has seniors that stay and represent their university and compete at this high level and get their degree and move on to be professionals in something besides their sport.
Speaking of seniors, it would be strange not to ask you about Lexi. She's not here anymore.
How's Lexi?
Does she have a chance to compete?
She's had, you know, a very good rehabilitation, and you know, we're hoping that, you know, the responding that we're seeing to the treatment and the injections that she had is real, and we'll know a little bit more today. She's gonna train and we're gonna put a little bit more load on her, but, you know, we're hoping we need to get her back on bars, no doubt, and hoping that we'll have a vault by the end of the season, and I won't say end of the season, by SECs. So that gives us you know, almost a month to continue to get her ready. Because we're definitely a better team when she's in bars.
But there is a possibility, like you said last week, that she could go for Georgia on bars.
There's a huge possibility that we're going to give it 100% effort to make that happen.
We're going to put a wrap on it here from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard between Sherwood Forest and Airline. Buddy, I asked Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com this question. I'll ask you. What are you looking for with LSU spring football practice, which begins next Thursday, March 7th?
Well, one of the things that I've been talking about for the last couple of years, and I've looked kind of silly, I keep thinking the wide receivers, the light's finally going to go on. So now with Chase and Marshall and all these other guys that have the potential and have the physical talent, can they take what Jerry Sullivan, the little things, that taught them last year? Can they do that and do a better job? Obviously, with Joe Burrow being here, they ought to be on the same page. He ought to know where everybody likes it. So I want to see him play pitch and catch better. TK, you know this in the SEC. You got to develop some depth at the line of scrimmage. So I want to see if Dari Rosenthal and Cameron Wire and a lot of these guys, Mike mentioned it, is Ed Ingram going to come back, what they're going to have on the defensive line. Look, you know they're going to have plenty of good DBs. Boy, be watching Derek Stingley. He could be the next great one that will go 3 years and be a first-round choice. And then, you know, you're replacing a legend in Cole Tracy. He was only here 1 year, but what a year.
He did a fine job.
Got to see what you got there. But how nice is it going to be to have a legitimate punt returner? I don't expect Jonathan Giles to be back with LSU. He may stay, he may not, but he won't be back there as the punt returner again. So special teams and the whole gamut, but obviously going to be interesting to see just how much they can improve because TK expectations are going to be there.
Oh, they're definitely going to be very high. Man, they bring us some food out of the kitchen.
I thought I was looking bad. I'm a little heavy right now to be eating.
We need Miles Brennan needs to get in here and eat,
Hey.
But anyway, always good stuff, all the good food. Marty's got a shot, a little pork chop and some potatoes and a roll. Always good stuff at Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard. Open Tuesday through Sunday at 11 a.m. Happy hour Tuesday to Friday, 4 to 7. You got the TV shows on Tuesday, Wednesday. You got steak night on Thursday, boiled snow crabs, boiled shrimp, boiled crawfish, DJs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So lots of good stuff happening at Scoreboards. Connect on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Buddy,
so that crawfish, by the way, the crawfish have been fantastic. The snow crabs, the barbecue, great place to watch the ball games.
TVs everywhere.
You know, I didn't realize I was going to get fed here tonight.
Oh, yeah, well, you got to get to work on that.
No, I'm not like the J-Man. He would be devouring this right now. But, hey, he'll be back next week with Jonathan. And it was, as always, a lot of fun to do the show. Hey, Tiger fans, enjoy. It's a nice time to be a Tiger fan right now.
No question. A lot of good things happening on the LSU campus. And lots of good things going in the right direction at Southern University, as always. Dawson Odoms and the football team, and Roman Banks doing a great job as AD. On behalf of everybody here on the staff at Scoreboard, Sports Grill and Catering, and of course the entire crew of Pelican Broadcasting, Buddy Sanji, I'm Tommy Christan. Most importantly, thank you for spreading the roar and watching Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV.
Taste the feeling.